Back. It's now time for MENVERSATE. This is a space where men speak honestly, reflect deeply, and grow intentionally. Last week and last 2 weeks, we've been talking about finances, how men should manage their finances. I mean, in fact, couples, but we're focusing on the men. Tonight's conversation touches a part of many men's lives that is often hidden beneath achievement, responsibility, and strength. I mean, the relationship with our fathers. For some, father was a hero. For others, father was absent. For some, he was present physically but unavailable emotionally. And for many, the older we get, the more we realize that our fathers were simply men trying to navigate life with tools they had. As children, we often judge our fathers by what they failed to give us, even adults. And as adults, we begin to understand the battles they have been fighting that we never saw. Not too long ago, I was saying the same thing elsewhere. It wasn't on a show or anything like that. I mean, I had just sat down and started understanding life differently. But understanding doesn't automatically heal the head. So how do we forgive the imperfections of our fathers without excusing the pain they may have caused? How do we stop repeating cycles of anger, emotional distance, poor communication, or neglect? And perhaps, most importantly, how do we become the fathers we wish we had? Tonight, we're talking about forgiving the imperfections of our fathers, breaking generational cycles when raising our children, and learning how to father ourselves. Because one of the greatest signs of maturity is realizing that healing is our responsibility, even when the wound wasn't our fault. Tonight, this evening, I'm in the studio with Kester. Is it Kester or say? Well,
Kokonse Kesta.
What's your surname, sir?
Ose is fine.
Yes, okay. Who is a communication architect?
Yeah.
Charlie.
I'm sure you're wondering what that means, but yes, you know.
I mean, you can explain when it's time. When I open the mic, officially. And my brother, is it Ora? Coffee Bills. They're going to help us have the conversation. Today is going to be free talk. And, of course, DJ Waps is also going to chip in when necessary. We are all men. And I think Kofi is not married. I remember from the last conversation. But do you have a child?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So we are all going to chat. I have children. I'm on my third. Yeah, Kester, you have two. Or one?
One, yes.
You're on your second. Okay. All right. I mean, this conversation is a bit emotional for me because I am one of the few that would say that my dad was available but was not available. I don't know if that makes sense. Scripture says that a good father is one that leaves an inheritance for their children's children. And for me, I always say, I didn't get that. But one thing I've learned being a believer is to still maintain the respect, the love, and the relationship I have with my dad. Beyond not being there, like he was just trouble. Yeah, the guy just worry, but I also see his strength. I see where he's strong, and I know that it's just issues of life sometimes changes people. He had to be dealing with his own issues and then now has to deal with kids or his children. And when I say his own issues, I may not be able to go too deep into it, but he has his personal weaknesses. These are things many have done and died. And not everybody wants to put themselves into that situation. But he found himself in there Later, we came into this world. So I saw a man who was struggling to work on himself. And then there's also the pressure, of working on his kids. So when I was growing, I vowed that there were certain things I would do before I die. One is have a wedding, because my father didn't. My mother also, but we're talking about fathers. My father didn't marry my mother. So I decided that I would do it. No matter what, I would do it. It's a lot of my friends didn't understand when I said I was going to marry again. But I didn't want to be selfish. I wanted my boy, I wanted to break that curse for my boy. So now, unfortunately, what he needs to fight is that he will not have a first and second marriage. But he will not. Because, I will be behind him in prayer. And these are patterns I have seen in my dad as well. But one thing I vowed not to do was to let myself go when it comes to like alcohol, drugs. And so it was one thing at a point I decided never to touch. Until date, I have not. But truth is, I've decided not to touch these things because sometimes it's better to run away from it than to get into it and want to come out. You may never be able to. I continue to pray each and every day. I can see that my father is a very discerning person and he's a very soft person. So he tries every now and then to connect with us. And before growing up to become this man, I was like very hard on him. But now I sit down and when I look at the circumstances around my own family, my initial family, I can see that another pattern is beginning to, spring up again. Because even though it's not my intention, somebody is blocking my communication with my kids. It doesn't change the fact that it is happening. So I need to break that cycle. And it's something that is not easy. So now I open up to him, we have conversations, we talk. And the last time we had a conversation was a very emotional one. And he watched me and said, "Hey, Wachale, now you can't grow." And one thing about myself and my dad is we have a very good relationship. He speaks Pidgin with me. I speak Pidgin. I think he's called me Trig for a very long time. So I'm sure sometimes he forgets my name. And he will always want something. He always wants something. And whenever he calls me, so one time I told him that, you just ask how I'm doing. I don't need extra questions. And that's the part I don't want to get to when I'm old. God forbid. Yes, my grandchildren should run to me and take mine. When their parents refuse to give them, they should come to me and I'll spoil them. I'll have a big house. They can play around. They can come, jump. And they say they will not go home. We want to be with Grandpa. Yeah. Our fathers were men before they were fathers. So sometimes I understand them. Kester.
True.
Today we can't exhaust the conversation because time is already gone.
Yeah.
Many of us only know our fathers as dad. Dad. How do you call it dad?
Oi.
Hey. What's the day?
So, growing up, that's what, he was called. So, Oi. My father he's also called Boga.
Okay, why? Was he in Britain?
He never traveled to before.
So the Oi be what?
I have no idea. User or Oi.
Okay.
So I kind of picked it, from that point. There are a lot of things that breaks the connection or the nexus when it comes to the father-son relationship. And I'll give an example. So growing up, I mean, when I got to a stage where I could make decisions for myself or be on my own and everything, I kind of realized that father love is not there. You know, the father I had was a provider, is a provider. You know, he does what he's supposed to do, but not a daddy.
How was the difference?
All right. So the father is the provider, the father figure, you know, make sure he fathers the children or fathers the child. All right. But the daddy is where it goes beyond that straitjacket relationship where the father is the provider, make sure the kids are fed, pays the school fees, you know, but it's not there emotionally.
Okay.
You understand? So he, of course, he provided, took me to one of the best schools in Ghana, Alpha Beta School in Dansoman. So, yeah, I mean, because...
They are young too. In Dansoman, I think they are the youngest school.
Well, but of course, Paul Ambantem,
yeah, but,
you know, but the impact is really
but
felt.
I mean, Martin Price has always been
of course.
the mother of all the schools in Dansoman. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so... I mean, he broke his back literally to get us to the best schools when he didn't even have. So for provision, he did. But for being there emotionally is not there. So the part of forgiveness and all those things, I mean, I'm still trying to understand him. But I won't say a study, or I just asked around. I did a social listening where I asked a couple of friends how your relationship with your father is. And I bet my bottom dollar about 75 or 80% of the responses that I had was pretty much the same. You know, where our fathers were nurtured into a certain thinking that, hey, you can't do this, you can't be with your father, you can't have a relationship with him. So I think that has translated into his thinking as well. So this is where it stops with me, because the question is about forgiving and moving forward as a father and everything. So in my opinion, this is where it stops. And I'll still back it with theory, where we go back to the social systems theory by Murray Bowen. Okay, so the last time we were talking about the mother and the connection with the father, the son, I mentioned this. Now this is where you as a son has to consciously break that connection with the father. So your father did this, especially, pardon me, in cases of domestic violence and everything. Because you tend to see people or hear people saying that, oh, it's not my fault. I mean, I saw my father beating my mother when I was young, so it kind of just was what I saw growing up. So nature versus nurture. It's my environment that kind of made me who I am today. But we as young people, as new fathers, can stop that. Unfortunately, I didn't do the research, so I don't have my numbers right. But I know that the new father, the new generation father, is better than the previous father.
Oh, that I agree. That one we don't need research.
Exactly. I mean, I wanted to get the data, the facts.
We don't need the data. We have the data.
You are the data.
We are the data. It's true.
Yes.
No, I mean, because there are a lot of information. There are a lot of information going around when you listen to some of the proverbs from the past. I mean, they're all very demeaning to the young people.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, that's how they were raised.
True.
You know, so even when, I mean, I've been on a state board, where when you are young, you can't speak.
Right.
And because I will not shut up, you will be tagged as a disrespectful person.
True.
That's how they were raised.
Yes.
I don't want to cut you,
Right,
so
yeah.
go ahead.
Yes. So, case in point, how they were raised. So, there was an argument I had with my father. And he says, hey, guest of yesterday, you know, who dare you? Like, you can't do this to my old man. He calls his father my old man, you know, and I got to understand that thinking was still there. And I look beyond that because I kind of understand that was how he was brought up.
Yeah.
You know, so this is where the social systems theory comes in, where you as the new father, the new generation father, stops that continuity. So every time you want to shout at your children or beat your wife or do something from the ordinary, you know, you kind of remember, consciously tell yourself that, no, it stops with me. All right. Now, the other part where you see people having conversations with your father, you know, going out to play ball and sitting out to watch football. No, I never had that growing up. I mean, so there was a time I tried to, bring it up and then see how it works. But still, it doesn't work. Our old men...
Oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah, our old men don't even want to involve us.
When you say it doesn't work, I mean, you still don't get it from your dad.
I don't get it because he's wired.
But wait, at this age, what do you want your father? You want your father to watch football with you?
I mean, it's the little things, all right? Of course, he's getting old and everything, but at least I'm trying as much as possible to spend quality time with him because I didn't have that growing up, all right? Just like I spend time with my son. Okay, you don't get that with our fathers. So my father was even surprised one time when I was taking care of my son, just say, and he was marveled because he's never done something like that before. The old women or, our mothers would, my mom said it, that she was pregnant with my little brother and she was carrying me at her back, and still carrying something on her head. And the man won't try to help or because they're used to that. Okay, go into the kitchen, cook, and then I'll be in the hall reading graphic and all those things. But as you said, that has changed, where men change diapers, men take care of their children and all those things. So it's high time we as young men break that notion that, oh, my father did it, so I'm also going to do it. There are still young men I speak to who kind of think like the old ways. There's a final one where our fathers sometimes don't involve us in decision making. That's where I'm coming to. I think I've complained to you a couple of times on that. And also, when I did the social listening, I realized that a lot of people my age and even slightly older have that problem where you've taken us to school, all right? So we know what is happening currently. But they are also stuck with the old ways of doing things, where they want to go through life the old ways and not changing. So that becomes a problem. And as young fathers, as young men, we need to change that.
All right, as young men, we need to change that, Kester says. So, Kofi, I'm coming to you.
Sure.
Have you reached a point where, you see your father? And I want a personal angle to this. You see your father as a human being and not just a parent. I mean, at a point in my life, that's what helped me. So I remember when my mom died, during the funeral, I know that I had taken care of the funeral and he was there. And I would introduce him to all my friends, and he himself was shocked. He himself said, Charlie, you've gotten me emotional, And then my pastor had observed that. So when we're leaving, he was like, Charlie, this thing you do, you try, because a lot of people will either run away, they will hide, they will not show their dad. But, I introduced him to almost every celebrity that came for the funeral. And for me, what helped me is my answer to this question, where you see the person beyond a parent, but also as a human being. Have you gotten to that point? Have you gotten to that point?
Yeah, check. Just to touch on, you mentioned that your father was there, but emotionally wasn't there. I can relate to that because I also had a father where, in a whole month, you hear him speak like twice.
In a month?
In a month. Very quiet.
Wow.
He wouldn't want to talk on anything unless it pushes him. So
wow.
I think one time when, we came of age and then now you can just talk to your old man as a boy, and then I think we had an argument. But it wasn't really an argument. He did something, I picked the phone up and I just went on him. And then I hung up the call, right? And so I was just there about 2 hours and then my old girl called and then was like, what did I say to the man? Because it's like, he's now changing the decisions that he made. And so I just sat down and I was like, okay. So this is like the first time that, I've, had that connection with my dad. And then it actually, changed because we also him to be a difficult person.
Yeah.
But I realized that we didn't actually, engage the man because we all knew him as a quiet person. So when he's talking, when he's doing something, we don't really engage. And so I sat there and I was like, right. So this man is actually a human being, like you're saying. And then if you can have a conversation, open up to the man, then you know that, yes, the man is not just being a strict father, but the man is also a human being. Yeah, so in a personal, experience, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And trust me, a lot of people have that experience, especially the generation before millennials. They don't. You can't talk back. Oh. Yeah. No. I'm serious.
Yeah.
You can't talk back.
Yeah.
And as sad as it is, but that's the reality. But Kester, let me come back to you. I know your father.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm looking from, and I don't know if you get that from others, when I'm looking from a far place or from a distance, I'm thinking you are blessed. No, you see, my time, I remember when I bought my own money, I bought my own shoe for my graduation, and I left it out there to dry because it was a mirror shoe, what we call patent leather.
Yeah.
And I went to take a shower. By the time I came back, the shoe was not there. Yeah. The shoe was not there. So I could not go for my own graduation. I have many of such instances where my friends will come, you will lose your phone. You know, maybe you can't leave anything without locking your door. So I come from such a place. And I still try to build the kind of relationship you have with your dad. So anytime I see your father and the way you guys play around him, and I see that you like to worry him a lot. You know, that's how you like worrying quiet people. What's the name of that, your colleague? Sweetie! You know, so anytime I see you, I'm like, yo, like, you are blessed. I don't know if you have also felt blessed.
Well, I mean, I have.
Because Father's Day is coming.
Yes.
So whether you like it or not, I will inspect your gifts that you give to your father.
Yeah. I mean, he always gets emotional when, you know, I get something for him. And he's like, oh, you don't have to. But I'm like, yeah, I know what you've done. I know the sacrifices that you've made. You know, at some point I told you my father, you know, was a taxi driver and everything just to put us in one of the best schools. So he didn't have to, but he did because he knew what he was doing. And truth be told, it has really helped all of us, you know, to where we are. So I appreciate him. It's just about the relationship that I'm looking forward to. As a father, you know, hands down, he, you know, even if he doesn't have, he'll make sure you're okay. All right. But that beyond that, you know, that daddy type of love, that daddy type of relationship.
That's the part I'm trying to understand, because then you sound like it's difficult for you. And I want you to share.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there like that. I like you want daddy, but you have dada or you have dad.
Da.
You know, so my problem
when
currently,
you say daddy,
if you had to ask me, or you know, if I should tell you what the problem is right now, I feel like either he still sees me as like that little boy, you know, and he doesn't listen.
Okay.
He doesn't listen, and he will go into the fire, and maybe later tell you that, Charlie, this is what happened. At that point, you know, damage has been caused. And I'm looking for that kind of conversation where we can have a conversation, and it's always about, hey, what's going on and all that. We've sat in a car, we drove from Accra to Kumasi, and I can count the number of words or conversation we had throughout the journey. That is how bad it is. We can never have a conversation.
Did you initiate?
I have initiated a lot of times, and there are times when, you know, our schedules and everything, I travel and all that, but whenever I come, because a friend lost their father, and it dawned on me that, hey, if you were to remember some of the good times that you had with your father, would you have a lot of them? And I was found wanting. You know, I don't really have some exciting memories of myself with my father. So when he came back, I tried to, you know, establish some contacts and everything, but you know, I don't think I succeeded in that.
Okay, hold on to that thought. Waps, can you please cue in for me, Englishman in New York?
Yeah, Sting.
Sting. Not the new one, so Sting, the one from Sting. Yeah, because that's the memory I have of my dad. You know, I was told, I didn't see it. I was young, but I was told that he schooled in England.
Hey, oi man.
Yeah. And when he came back is when I saw him. And when I saw him, he had a girlfriend somewhere in Hacho. And Hacho was a bushy area then. So sometimes he would drive me there, and then we will go, play tennis. I think it was a Dadabi chick. So they had a tennis court in the house. So my father gave me my taste. Yeah. So what I remember is anytime we're going, he would play that song in the car. He used to have a green Toyota.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, and at the time, it was one of the coolest rides, man, because, he never drove me in that car to school, but I remember those trips to those places. But all those years lasted for like maybe 2 or 3 years, and then everything just changed. So, ladies and gentlemen, well, we will definitely play that. You don't stress about that. I'll handle that. But I want us to go for a musical break, and so let's get a song, and then when we come back, the conversation is juicy, is nice. We're talking about fathers. We're talking about forgiving fathers, becoming a father, and learning that you have to also break cycles. We will be right back. Stay here. It's 37 minutes after 6 p.m. You're listening to MENVERSATE on the 3FM Drive.
3FM Drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
Even the music, if you get tastes. But Aquano dear. Yee! 41 minutes after 6. We're having a beautiful conversation about dads. You're listening to Sting, Englishman in New York, in the back. All right, so Kester, we're back to this conversation. Kester is looking for a daddy, but has a da. Or bro say. But let's look at breaking cycles. Like I said, we can't exhaust everything today. We'll continue. We'll wrap it up next week. But let's look at breaking cycles. What are some patterns that you've observed that you find it necessary to break? I know that you mentioned the thing about communication. What else? Because I feel like a lot of fathers, new fathers, don't focus on those things. One of the things I fought with was divorce. You know, I didn't see any of them really married, you know, apart from my uncle. And he also divorced. But one thing I tried to do was to fight that, make sure that no, it won't happen. Because once it does, then it becomes a cycle that is continuing. And I need to break that for my kids. And so Kest, I'm asking you, what are some patterns beyond communication? It could also be spiritual. You are a Christian, and you do hear some of these things from churches, and every now and then you do hear one or two of these cases.
Well, I mean, communication is key, you know, and as a communication architect, I am certain that information has to be communicated strategically to build reputation and then get the message sent on time. So communication is key, but one thing or another thing is temperament. All right. My father is more of outside cry, home gentility. Is it that? He'd rather try to impress people out on the outside and not the people he lives with. Yes, I don't know what the term, you know, because if you're impressing, be an all-round person. Don't be honey, what do they call it? Mojo. So that's one thing. Just be true to yourself, be true to the people around you, and don't try to get social pleasing. Don't please people on the outside and your own people are not. I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I hear it's a cool thing.
Who told you that it's a cool thing?
That's what I say.
Whoever taught you that they lied to you.
He said he heard.
Yes, I heard.
They lied. They're on here.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
On here.
But from the so that's it. That's one thing that I definitely want to break, and the fact that the father figure will metamorphosize into the daddy.
Good. But I mean, I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
It's important.
So,
Your children deserve it.
Certainly, you know, be there for your children and do the things that you didn't get. Because oftentimes, people will say that the way I behave was based on how I grew up. But it shouldn't be that way. Especially with the new technology, with new things coming up. We need to adjust, you know, and not be adamant. We have to move according to the changing times. So if something was done to you, if something bad was done to you back in the day, you growing up, you're your own adult and you know the right from wrong. Do better. Be better than your father, or be better than somebody you grew up looking to or looking at.
Okay. All right, Kofi.
So, Trick, so when, you know, I sat down at a point and then I was just thinking about it, and, you know, I can say I see a lot of my dad in me when it comes to being silent, you know, being reserved.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I sat down and then I was like, when I have my own family, one thing that I'm going to try and not make it happen is that we go like a whole day, you know, without talking. And so, you know, I remember, you know, when I was a kid, you could come to my house on a Sunday, because on a Sunday is home, and then the only thing you hear is radio. And so that is how
In your house?
In my house.
You people were not talking?
No one. So like you see everyone either on their bed or just sitting somewhere. And so it was just probably would be my sister who was, you know, then you see Eshe, they should just come and cause commotion, and everyone is just yes. So one thing that I'll say I loved about my dad would be radio. The fact that he made me love radio up to now, yes. But so I just think about it and I'm like, no, there's no way at a point where we'll have a whole day in my house and then everyone is quiet or everyone is going about their business. We have to look like a united, team, a team. A family, having that relationship. And then one other thing that, yes, I believe you have to break, or I have to break, is, having multiple wives.
Okay.
That is something that I also pray about.
It means that your father is a father. Oh, wow. So women have been worrying you.
Well.
Or you have been worrying women. Oh, you have been worrying women.
We've been praying.
Or they admire you.
Well. So that is one thing that, I sit down and then I think about and I'm like, well, at no point that I'm going to say, okay, so I have multiple wives or just even have the thoughts of having multiple wives. Yeah.
So when you say multiple wives, are you coming to a category or you mean marrying more than one wife?
Well, marrying more than one wife.
Oh, okay.
Marry more than one wife, yeah.
Okay, so you have
more than one woman.
stepmothers.
Yes, I have.
Hey.
You are
I'll
counting.
say two. Officially, I'll say two, yeah.
Oh, so your dad has 3 wives.
3 wives.
Officially.
Yeah. Officially, yeah.
I like it. What a shock! All right. I mean, wow. Wow. I read a research report about how millennial fathers have been the worst. I don't know why, but I think it's because of how Gen Zs turned out. They assume that we fathered the idiots, the Gen Zs. So. But Kester, are you a Gen Z? No, you're a millennial.
Yes. Millennial.
And now you are a father. What are you doing differently with your child?
So being there, even when you're tired, providing and caring, not just being a provider, but caring, being there, being present, and all the things that I wished I had during my younger self, I'm making available for him.
Okay, but have you had the chance to have a conversation with your dad and asked him maybe why he did A or B? Because I think I'm a bit like your dad, but within me, I'm a very caring person. Even when I make friends, I'm able to give off myself, my contacts, my talent. Though I don't get that back. I don't get it in return. And I rebuke it. But so there could be a reason. Maybe he didn't want you guys. You don't think that you turned out this way because of how he treated you?
Well, that's a good one. But I'm looking forward to having the conversation. But as you said, I've just left it, or I've let it be, and just being there, providing.
Because now you are treating me like that.
How am I treating you?
But that's how you treat me.
Oh, Trig.
Yeah, that's how you treat me. You are my friend. You are my brother. But you don't mind me. You don't even.
That's untrue. That's
promote
a fallacy.
my music.
That's untrue. That's untrue. That's untrue. Well, I mean, I'll take it. That's your perspective, but that doesn't mean it's
So
a
it
fact.
means you are not even considering my perspective. Just say,
So I admit.
it's untrue.
I admit that's your perspective. That's your point of view, but I don't think it's factual.
But you're doing the same thing. It's just that you are throwing it away. It's not factual. And look at your same perspective,
Oh, let me do some PR here. I understand how you feel, and I'm definitely working toward it to make it better.
Oh, this guy.
All right, so what's that go?
Kobe, we're wrapping up. What do you intend to do differently when it comes to you being a father?
Just to comment on the
Next week, each one of you come here with your fathers. Yeah. I know say Kofi father no go come. But I know that Kester's dad might come.
Yoza no go come. I've
I'll call
actually
him myself.
tried so hard to get him out. Let's go sit somewhere. Let's have some time. But so many times, so many times.
Well, we will call them.
There was one time my sister was leaving. She came and then she was leaving, and one of my uncles invited us to a top spot in Accra, Lancaster. And he was so jittery, like, so where there, and all those things. He's always used to.
It's just where he grew up and how he grew up. And sometimes when you see, it's a spiritual. Sometimes when you battle with it for so long, it becomes a part of you. Even when now you have it, you begin to act and think like.
Typical of my father.
Yeah.
Typical,
My father is a landlord.
And he doesn't, exude the landlord as in, not you, I mean, of course, coming and bling and all those things, but he's so simple, like so very simple. And sometimes I just wonder, so I mean, maybe what you're saying, there's some element of truth in there, definitely.
Well, there's always element of truth in the things I say. Kobe,
Check.
I was asking what you're going to do different.
So, what I want to do different will be just love. Just show love to my children. Just again be there for my children. At least once or twice, take my children to the park.
Okay.
Because growing up, you go to school and then you have kids telling you what they did over the weekend, and all you can talk about was the fact that you're listening to Kwame Sifakai, or you're listening to you're listening to radio, right? So just show my children the love. Just bring them out. Just talk to them. Know what is happening, what is going on. I can tell you that throughout my primary and GHS, I could bet that my dad never took my report.
Wow.
It was just my mom, following up on all that. The man was just in his world.
Chill.
Just
Wow.
just get involved with my children, just show them that, yeah, daddy's here. Daddy's here, but yes, he's here.
All right, just show them that daddy is here. I mean, the goal is not to become better than our fathers. The goal is to become better because of both their strengths and their mistakes. I mean, every father leaves a legacy. It's not just the building, it's not money, it's not just the car. I mean, if they leave that too, we don't mind. I mean, some of them, they never die. What they did right and what they did wrong also sometimes helps us in our growth. The big question here is, what kind of legacy will your children say you left behind? This is MENVERSATE on 3FM, on the 3FM Drive. We're talking. Music in the back is Session d'Assaut, but the title of the song is Désolé. This is a very old song. I chanced upon it when I was in I'm still young, like some years back, and I've been a big fan of these guys since. Communication architect.
Yes.
What is Désolé?
Sorry. Yes.
Aquati French.
Monsieur, tu parles français?
Et toi?
Confusé et tu as. Okay, guys, we're wrapping up. I want your final thoughts, and then we can say our good nights.
Okay, so we should, as young men, as potential fathers and everything, be the father or the person we always wanted during our younger self. So if your father wasn't available, if your father wasn't the provider, if he wasn't caring and all those things, let's break that notion and be there for our younger children. Let's be better, let's be available, let's spend some time and all that.
All right, thank you. Kovi?
You're right. So check, yes, so like Kesta is saying, and then with my experience too, you mentioned one thing that there's research that the millennials are failed in. Sometimes I think about it, and you're like, okay, so this man has actually made me, prim and proper, very proper, that you have to follow some steps, you have to follow some rules.
Yeah.
So what I want to say, in as much as we are saying we show the love, we show up and everything, I believe here one thing I also want to add is discipline. That no matter what, that discipline, not going to the extent of beating them, but at least making them understand the rules of life, and then putting in and making sure that your children are also disciplined, so that of course they don't become the worrisome Gen Zs.
Yes, tell me about what's going on.
So next from Sunday, the 7th, is the Grassack Week. We commence the Grassack Week. So University of Media Arts and Communication, that we're students of communication. That's how come I am a communication architect. We're having our Grassack Week. So from the 7th is the launch. Thursday we're going to the Macdan Park in La to have a football match between UPSA, Legon, and all the graduate students around. And then on Saturday, we're going to Goma Wonderland. It's a special trip to Goma Wonderland. So just check out our pages, Grassack, Unimac. And then, of course, on Sunday, we have a donation, and we climax it with some fufu at DDA East Legon. So be there,
Oh, wow.
Yes, let's
This Sunday?
Enjoy. Yes,
No,
the next Sunday. So that would be like 13th or 14th. Yes, 14th. And I want to give a big shout to all the Grassack team. This is the Speaker of Parliament.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Senate, and then I'm also the Entertainment Committee Chairman. So big shouts to our president.
Big shouts to all the Grassack team.
Elle dit qu'il n'est jamais très loin.
Grassack. So Graduate Students Association. Big shouts to Charles Kwesi Nkum. Tomorrow is your birthday, from your mom Mavis and other people. Congrats on your BEC, completing your BEC as well.
Okay, Kofi, do you have anything to add? They say you are the president. Senate.
Speaker of
Senate. At the Grassack committee.
And the ladies love him.
Oh, the ladies love you. Okay.
I love them.
So he has to pray.
You have to pray. Because the way you are greeting 3-step mother.
It actually shows that yes, you have a big family, and so yes, you have to. You have the heart for a lot of people. Being diplomatic here. And so what I want to add is that yes, so I'm sure Trig will be at the day on Sunday.
Yes, certainly.
But of course, we want to bring you on board on one of the days so that you come in and then show us your love. Okay.
We are always showing the love. But I think Ojeju will help. Alright, guys. It's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much. We are done with this. We've come to an end of another exciting edition of 3FM Drive and, of course, of MENVERSATE. From the insights on Mind Shift, the practical lessons from Tips on Wheels, the honest opinions shared during Easy Talk, and the deep reflections from tonight's MENVERSATE. Thank you for making this journey worthwhile. Today, we've been reminded that leadership is built through consistency, relationships thrive on communication, and healing often begins when we choose understanding over resentment. We've also reflected on the impact of fatherhood and the responsibility of each of us. To everyone who called, those who sent messages, shared their stories, or simply listened on their way home, thank you for being part of the conversation. As you head into the evening, remember, life is not just about the big moments. It's the small daily choices that shape who we become. Be kind, be intentional, be grateful, and keep showing up even when nobody is watching. My name is Trigmatic, and on behalf of the entire 3FM team, thank you for riding with us. From 3 p.m., you are an amazing guy, or girl, or chick, or sister, or brother. Stay safe on the roads. Enjoy the rest of your evening and keep it locked right here on 3FM 92.7. And because it's raining, when you're coming out, make sure you take a raincoat, take an umbrella, a cute little one, strap up and make sure you're safe. Don't go and hide under a fueling station or a fuel station, please. Don't go. We don't want any other issue. Good night. God bless. And we'll do it all again tomorrow at 3 p.m.
3FM Drive. 3FM 92.7.